This is All Stars. The All Stars are here. Woo! We are really pushing through this NBA season. I've had a great time talking with y'all. It's been very fun. I like it. Let's talk some hoops. So All Star season. We've already gotten the starters on both sides. Let's go East and West first. So for the Eastern Conference, the starting five will be Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks, Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks, Cade Cunningham from the Detroit Pistons, Tyrese Maxey from the Philadelphia 76ers, and Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics. I'm going to talk about each player real quick. Jaylen Brown. You know that feeling of when you were right? You know that feeling when everyone told you that your fave player was very mediocre? He was getting carried by the superstar teammate? I feel so vindicated in the fact that I knew that Jaylen Brown was one of them guys. I knew that he was not just along for the ride. He got that Finals MVP by force. Because guess what? Jaylen Brown is one of those guys that knows where he is needed. He does not want to do too much, because when you do too much, that's when mistakes occur. And guess what his role has been? They're like, hey, we need you to average an efficient 25 points per game. We need 25. We need 20. We need 27 points a game. Can you give us 27? He said, don't worry, I got 28 for you. That's what I like to hear. Jaylen Brown. I'm enjoying the fact that they've been able to scheme so many mid-range jumpers for him, because he has been hooping when it comes to that mid-range area. But alongside that, I'm so glad that they did try and just make Peyton Pritchard the new Jaylen Brown or something of that nature. And they actually put scheme and thought around how they want to be using a guy like Jaylen Brown on this roster, because he still wants to be the best defender in the league, and he still wants to be the best offensive player in the league. He's been playing this two-way thing to the empty. He played against the Clippers, right? And I'm pretty sure he had 30-some points. And he was locking up Kawhi Leonard, switching over to James Harden, switching back to Kawhi Leonard, switching over to James Harden. And he was able to hold his own and then close the game out in such an efficient fashion that you do not see. You don't see that often, right? And it's getting to the point where you have to recognize greatness when it's there. No more memes. Turn off all the memes. Next player, Tyrese Maxey. Woo! You have been the shining star in my Eastern Conference, man. You've been something very nice. I've been enjoying the resurgence of a player like Tyrese Maxey, because he got the most. I think he got the most improved player last year, and he might end up getting it this year. But that's a whole nother conversation. Tyrese Maxey, he's been able to use this speed, this otherworldly speed that he plays with. And he still somehow has a superb understanding of pace, which is very rare when you have a small guard like him. Because if you could think back to the Westbrooks and the John Walls and the D Roses of the world, and they all just had one tune to them. De'Aaron Fox, for example, all one tune, just 100%. First step, I'm gone, floater. But he's been able to be. Tyrese Maxey has been methodical this year, right? And he's been able to control his speed in a way that is so difficult to watch. You ever been looking at the game and then just something catches your eye on the other side of the room, you look back and just go put 2 points in? You get something catches your eye in the corner of the screen, and then he just hits another three. Let's talk about his shooting. Belt to butts. Do you know when a player is pushing forward NBA history? When they're able to not just rejuvenate a position, right? But he's been able to be consistent when it comes to his efficiency on the court, because he has this one floater that I don't know how he's able to make it. He literally sprints. He goes full speed, throws the ball up, and some way, somehow makes it at a clip that you do not see too often. It's not just the offensive gifts that he's been, that I've really admire. It's the fact that he's able to keep his team on track, right? Because we all seen the dip in a guy like Embiid. We've seen Paul George. We even see VJ Edgecombe, but the heartbeat of this roster is Tyrese Maxey. He's the offensive engine, even with the superstars that are around him. And this was supposed to be a down year. We're supposed to slowly usher Joel Embiid out to pasture to go retire. But he's been able to take such an offensive load on JoJo that he's been playing great, and he doesn't even need to worry about producing. Joel Embiid, literally, this might be the simplest I've seen Joel Embiid play ever, because it's like, okay, you guys don't need me to score 30. In all realness, can put up 20 points in a game and we can win. You know the last time that Joel Embiid has been able to say that? This is the man that they damn near forced him to average 40. They made him average 40. And he's been able, and the fact that they forced Joel Embiid to be such an offensive threat, an offensive engine for so long, that's kind of the reason why he's been deteriorating. For his whole career has been deterioration, because if he's been the top 3, top 4 offensive players in the league and top 3, top 4 defensive players in the whole NBA for years on end. And now we have a guy like Tyrese Maxey that's like, hold on, bro, just chill, bro. Just you don't need to do too much on your knee, on your back. Just take your time. And guess what? Joel Embiid is allergic to not averaging 27 points a game. He's allergic to it every game. Anytime I watch a Sixers game, he's like, you know what? Hey, 26, 14, and 8. 33, 12, and 8. And I really love what Tyrese Maxey has been able to do to this roster. Cade Cunningham. He's interesting to me. Cade Cunningham is a very interesting. So I've always had this theory when it comes to point guards. There's a couple play styles that come with being a point guard, right? You need to be able to facilitate to set your teammates up. You could be a score first point guard that teams are able to build around your scoring gravity and then move. Cade Cunningham is interesting to me because there's a couple of archetypes when it comes to point guards, right? You can get the point guard that's consistently drawing different defenses due to his objective pull offensively scoring wise, or you can get a point guard that's so methodical and understands how to facilitate to get his teammates involved to the point where now they're overplaying their stature. And I feel like that's where Cade Cunningham resides in, because I haven't seen this point godness. Let me scratch that. Let me put some respect on Tyrese Halliburton. But I have not seen this level of facilitation in a while, right? Because it seems as if to be able to turn around your team the way that they did, right? Because last year they make it to the playoffs. The year before that, brothers, the year before that, they literally won, I think, the same amount of games as the Detroit Lions. That's not good for an NBA team that has 82 games in the regular season. But I digress. Cade Cunningham, 1, knows how to use his body, and 2, he watches the game in a very weird way. And it seems like Cade Cunningham is not obsessed with getting his upset. It feels like Cade Cunningham is not as obsessed with getting the assist numbers like a lot of other guys, in all honesty, where they kind of force you to force feed a lot of easy. They're willing to forego their own 2 points to get that 1 assist, if that's an easier way to explain it. But no, I've watched as Cade Cunningham has been able to make that extra pass And that extra pass is what opens up the game for the third quarter when they end up trying to get on their run with him, Ausar, and Duren working as a tandem three. And then, just to speak on that, I love the way that Duren and Duren and Ausar are able to work in tandem defensively. It's some of the most obnoxiously athletic nonsense I have seen in a long time, especially coming from a guard big combo. Grady, in my opinion, but a whole other. We'll talk about that another day. But I've been really in love with how Cade Cunningham has been able to change the reputation of the Detroit Pistons in such a short amount of time. And not even to mention, I think they're the first seed still. We're about halfway through the season, and y'all are the first seed? Woo, what's happening? And the thing is, it's so weird because I feel like I'm the only one that's on this boat. Detroit Pistons can win a championship this year. They could legitimately be able to represent the East in a way that I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all. And the reason why I say that is because it's like, they're built in an interesting way where, one, there are a bunch of big players on their team. Two, there's a bunch of players that are hard-nosed defensive runners. They got shooters, as well as Cade Cunningham seems to give that edge that a lot of teams they don't have a point guard like him. I'll just put it like that. Can they match up well with the Oklahoma City Thunder? I think so. But we can talk about that another day. Jalen Brunson, the New York Knicks worry me, so I don't really have too much to say, but I will say Jalen Brunson, I think you've got to that point of, I think you might be the top three point guard. I think you might be the top three point guards this year, top two. I'm having difficulty to see if I like Luka more, if I like Brunson more, because of he has been so consistent. He's objectively a playoff performer, right? He got the king of the fourth quarter badge last year, and he might end up getting it this year if Anthony Edwards has something to say about it. But there's not too many players that you can not just guarantee is going to take it to the next level, but Jalen Brunson makes betting against him such a uphill battle because of he might be a smaller guard. He might take a lot of shots. But guess what? He takes a lot of shots. He's still efficient in a lot of shots that he takes. And he's very durable in a way that needs to be talked about more. His durability needs to be talked about because we don't see superstars that actively want to play 80 games a year. That's not in the forefront. There's not many guys that's like, yeah, every single year I know that I'm going to be here when June comes. And guess what? I'm going to still play that random game in Tuesday. I will still play that random game on Tuesday all the way out in Indianapolis. I don't care. Somebody showed up to watch me play, so I'm going to play. And that's honestly, I like how you hoop, brother. And then Giannis. If you were watching the podcast earlier, you know how I feel about Giannis. Giannis, we love you, but please find another place to hoop, bro. Please. They can't keep wasting greatness, bro. They can't keep wasting greatness. Let's talk about the West. Nikola Jokic, all-timer. Luka Doncic, all-timer. SGA, all-timer. Steph Curry, all-timer. Victor Wembanyama looks like he will become an all-timer very, very, very soon. That's a good quick synopsis of these guys, bro. So Jokic is having another all-time year. Y'all are lucky that he got injured this year because of they would be hunting down the OKC Thunder by now. Especially with the slip and slide that's been going on out in OKC. Yeah, they could. I could see them picking up a couple games where they are dropping off. And even I really love that Jokic got hurt, but it wasn't anything too dastardly, right? Jokic got hurt, and their team for the first time in a long time, has been able to pick up the pieces and continue to move forward. Do you know how many times I've watched the Denver Nuggets sit Nikola Jokic down and then go on a 47 point swing just because of Jokic sat down for 8 minutes, 3 minutes, and it's a 12-point game? Have you seen? And I'm gonna make an in-depth video about the idea of. And one of these days, I want to make an in-depth video about the replaceability and the buoyancy of a lot of NBA teams when their superstar takes a seat. But for now, I'd like to say I love what Jamal Murray is doing. I've been a Jamal Murray hater for the past 6 years, probably 6 or 7 years, because I really, really, really believe that he's one of those players that gets buoyed a lot due to having an all-time great sitting right next to him. But this run, you're hooping, brother. You're hooping, brother. You're hooping. It's one of those things where when a team gets a chance to game plan for you, when the big brother is not there, you can see how much teams get inside your grill. I was trying to see how they would look against the Los Angeles Lakers, because Jamal Murray always makes it a thing to just put belts, just put some belts on them. Every single time that he looks LeBron in the eye, he got 37 for him. And guess what? He had another 30 for him this year. He had a 30 ball. He had a 30. You don't outplay Luka Doncic like that. But some way, somehow, they gonna put 2 and 2 together and get some lemonade, some cream, some work. But yeah, Jamal Murray might be a first-time All-Star this year. Hold on, we'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's a great team. I like that they actually have a roster this year. Let's talk about Luka. Luka, I think it's impossible for you not to be offensively talented. Yeah, I think it's really impossible to game plan offensively or have a game plan defensively against Luka. You just gotta hope this man misses, bro. Because it feels as if he knows the rules of the game better than anyone not named Chris Paul. That's really what it looks like. From the gather to his ability to shoot off of any touch points. Bro, that's a skill I feel like every young player got to be able to master. If you're a scoring guard, you got to be able to shoot from your catch point. What is that called? Your ball placement beyond the point. You got to be able to score from everywhere. Anywhere needs to be your shot pocket. Yeah, you got to be able to. You feel me? Because Luka's 1-1. Let's talk about SGA. I feel like this is the year where they've been really adamant on letting the NBA know. Yeah, last year was not a fluke. This year, I am that guy. I am the guy. There is nothing that you guys can do with me due to my ability to score. Bro, I've been watching how SGA has been so methodical. He's been able to set up so much for himself this year. And this year, with all the injuries that has been forsaken for the Oklahoma City Thunder, you could see how there's a lot of lacking points. There's a lot of players that don't really have that much sway on their roster. They're getting propped up from the fact that they have a bunch of guys that work really well in this system, that now that they're being given officially bigger roles, and now that teams are able to game plan specific players on this roster, there has been some points where they've dropped it off pretty severely. And guess what? They're still the first seed by 10 points. Or 10 wins? 10 wins! Crazy. That's greedy. SJ, you've been hooping. You've been hooping crazy. And your shoes have been pretty hot too. I cannot lie. Stephen Curry. If you watch my earlier videos, Steph, bro, please find a new home, bro. I know, I see that you're trying, but this Yeah, this might not be your year. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Find your way to Indianapolis or something, bro. Please, find your way to what's the team? What you know? What Indianapolis? Find your way to Indianapolis, brother. If you could, don't even know trade. Go and like lower your budget. Like be like, hey, I'd like to work for like, give me 20, not $50 million a year, and I'll come play for Indianapolis. Yeah, you just go do that. Go and get your ring again. You feel me? You can get the ring in Indianapolis. Come see us in Minnesota. We need a point guard. You know, just give us a we love you discount. You feel me? But that's a whole nother conversation. And Victor Wembanyama. You're one of them ones. I can't. Brother has been coming off the bench like an all-time great. Yeah, greed. I'm trying to figure out what is the Spurs' plan for Wemby, because they're the second seed, right? And they have been chugging along, and I wonder if they're going to have one more big package to get like another guy on that team. Because if you could add like actually, I don't even think I want to add any more pieces because they're good for bigs. They have a really good guard rotation, but they're just missing out on a couple. They could use a wing, but their wing that they're waiting for seems to be a little childish at this moment. So I wonder if they're going to try and make a big move, try and make a big swing and get themselves like, I don't know. Who's a guy they can get? A Herb Jones. Go get you a Trey Murphy. Go grab you. Who's a Boston player? Go find you someone from Boston to come play on your squad. You feel me? That's all you gotta do. But I'd like to wrap this up with we need a there has been such a discrepancy on the skill talent out east that I feel like we got to do something in regards to changing up how the playoffs go, but that's a bigger conversation. But at least, can we get some good players out east? Let's start shipping folks back. I don't know if it's just like an injured McGee season, like Jason Tatum is coming back, and I feel like that would balance out the powers just a little bit. Ooh, I would love a Celtics OKC finals. I would love a Celtics Minnesota finals. That's what we really need. But that's, again, a whole nother conversation. But brother, the East have been losing so much swag. I was listening back. I was watching some earlier All-Star games. You know, back when Bron was out East and like Kobe was out West. They had this couple moments when the All-Star teams were like actually like equal, and now folks are talking about the USA versus the world. I do not want to see that. I do not want to see my goats get smacked by them foreign-born folks, bro. Because guess what? Canada is also the world. And I don't need to see us lose. The USA has been we've been BSing for a while now, but hey, let's because of even talking about like the rosters, it was like SGA, Luka, Giannis, Jokic, and Wemby, and off the bench, fucking Sengun and Lauri Markkanen. Greedy, because it's like then we throw out, let's say, Steph, Anthony Edwards, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, and let me tell y'all, these players are good players, great players, but there's something that's going on in the world that they're giving us their best of the best every single time we grab someone from over there that it's getting very greedy.